Come on in, guys. Come on in. I thought I was going to have a countdown on this thing, but I guess my countdown doesn't want to work this morning. And it is okay because we're going to get this thing going no matter what. Come on in, guys. Come on in. I'm already having some technical challenges already, guys. Come on in. I want to see you. I want to hear from you and all. If you guys can hear me, leave a one in the chat. Leave a one in the chat. I'm on some different material or different technology today, and want to make sure all well. So if you guys can hear me, come on in, guys. And it is Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve. What's up, Corey? What's up, Scorpio Retro? Hopefully you guys are having a good start off to your morning. Hopefully you guys are having a good start off to your morning. It is Christmas Eve, guys. It is absolutely Christmas Eve. And I'm in Madison, Wisconsin right now, just outside of Madison, Wisconsin, in Sun Prairie, actually, visiting my mother. And we have my kids and my wife all with us. And let me tell you like this, guys. The weather here is absolutely cold. It's brutal. -7 on yesterday with a wind chill of -30. It was very difficult to getting out of the house yesterday, but we managed to get out to have some food and so forth. And I dropped a Patreon video, or will be dropping a Patreon video showing that. But it is cold. If you guys are in the Midwest, hopefully you guys are staying pretty warm throughout this cold temperatures. In Texas, where I live, I believe it dropped down to the 20s, guys. It dropped down to the 20s. And I am a bit concerned because I did not winterize my boat yet. The good thing is I no longer have it in outside storage. I have it in indoor storage. So hopefully that doesn't, nothing freezes and nothing cracks or anything like that. So when I get back to Texas on the 2nd of January, I gotta go and take a look at my boat and make sure the boat is okay. But guys, I wanted to get here this morning and this chat with you guys on a couple things from this morning. One topic that we're going to talk about is setting clear goals for 2023. Setting clear goals for 2023 and how to do such a thing. The next thing I'm going to talk about is, side hustles, right? Because going into 2023, many of us are either have already started a side hustle in 2022 or before. But if you are a corporate employee, you probably need to tell your boss if that side hustle is growing. You probably need to tell your boss if that side hustle is growing. I can give you some firsthand experience with that because I've had to do such a thing. I had to do such a thing, so we can talk about that as well too. And the last thing we're going to talk about is technology salaries, guys, because technology companies are still hiring and non-tech companies are still hiring as well too. So, guys, that's going to be the subject of today's show. That's going to be the subject of today's show. But before we get there, I want to give 2 shout outs. I want to give 2 shout outs to our Patreon members who are continuing to level up. 2 Patreon members showed their work this week. That's right. 2 Patreon members showed their work this week, guys. And I'm going to tell you like this. They got it done. Our brother Darren just got promoted to a systems engineer 3. Our brother Darren just got promoted to a systems engineer 3. Darren says, you know what, Antoine, I've been putting in the work. I've been putting in the work, ladder climbers, right? My manager, who I'm working for right now, was my manager at a previous company. He went to a new company, then he poached me. He said, Antoine, you know what? He took me with him. And I just got promoted again to systems engineer 3. It's important to make sure that you continue to build really strong relationships with the people that you work with and the people that you work for in the past, right? Because obviously, if they level up and you were fantastic for them, they're going to bring you right along to help you level up as well. I think about this when we talked about Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders, we had a lot of conversations about Deion over the last couple of weeks and so forth and how he left Jackson State. But you think about the opportunities he's given a lot of people. Well, him becoming a head coach gave opportunities to people that he's worked with before to become assistant coaches, right? Somebody on his staff is now the head coach of Jackson State. They took somebody from his staff who was an assistant coach. Now he is the head coach. Big opportunity. right? Now, Deion Sanders go to a place like Colorado, and he's bringing his assistant coaches with him and hiring other coaches as well too, right? So when you level up and other people level up as well, if you are great at what you do, you're going to get opportunities as well too. And that's what Darren took advantage of. Darren said, you know what? He went to another company. I was great. We have a great relationship. He took him with him, and now he's a systems engineer 3. Proud of you, Darren. I don't have the buttons right now, but if I did have the buttons, you'll get a big round of applause for leveling up, my man, just before the year. Very, very, very good work, my man. Very good work, Darren. Second, I want to give another big shout out to our brother, Kevin Tech IT Support. Kev Tech IT Support is always leveling up. I'm telling you that right now. He is always leveling up. Brother Kev Tech IT Support is doing speaking engagements for Microsoft. He's running courses and selling courses and creating courses for all sorts of people. Well, most recently, Brother Kev Tech IT Support got his first cybersecurity job, guys. He got his first cybersecurity job. He wanted to break into the cybersecurity space. And guess what he did? He got his first cybersecurity job, and he is getting paid. He's absolutely getting paid. So let's shout out to Brother Kev Tech IT Support for constantly showing the way, right? Constantly showing the way. He got rejected a lot of the times, he said. Brother Kev Tech IT Support said, you know what? Guys, I've been trying to break into IT or to cybersecurity for quite some time. Now I'm in cybersecurity, but it didn't come as easy as you think it would have been. Although he has a big brand, a big following on LinkedIn, it wasn't as easy as you thought it was. He had to put in the hours of study time. He had to put in the hours of networking time. He had to put in hours of application time. But he got it done. And he got it done right before the new year. So shout out to Brother Kev Tech IT Support for doing and showing the way, guys, doing the work and showing the way. He's constantly doing that. I'm very proud of this brother. And I can tell you this right now, man, Kev Tech IT Support and myself, we're going to be doing some bigger things in 2023. We need to talk. That's what we need to do, brother Kev Tech IT Support. We've been missing each other because of how busy we both are. But in 2023, I think there's going to be some big initiatives that we can do together to help both of our followers and to help people get into the IT space. I'm glad that you're in the cybersecurity. I'm very proud of you, my man. So those are the shout outs that I want to give today. But let's talk about this, guys. 2023 is going to be a good year. Personally, for me, I can already tell because you know what? I've already set my goals. I woke up this morning at 7 o'clock this morning. Well, I didn't wake up at 7 o'clock. I actually woke up at 5:30. But my first call this morning was at 7 o'clock. Who was it with? Well, it was with somebody who was in Poland. It was with somebody who was in Japan. It was with somebody who was in North America as well too. Why am I on a call at 7 o'clock on Christmas Eve? Well, because I have goals for 2023. I have goals for 2023, and a lot of my goals for 2023 is to help you. It's to help individuals like yourself who are looking to transition into tech, to help individuals like yourself who are looking to get into sales, to help individuals like yourself who are looking to get into cybersecurity. If I can play a big role into that to help it make it clear for you, to give you an easier path, then there's going to be many more of us in the tech space making the money that we ultimately want to make. Okay. So I got up this morning and guess what I did? Well, jumped on a phone call and I decided that I wanted to get some business done. And I spoke to individuals who are going to be helping me with getting individuals into the cybersecurity space. People who own a SOC in Poland, people who have a brand on YouTube for the cybersecurity space. So, lots of things that are being worked on right now that are part of my 2023 goals that I'm going to be working on for the next year. And I want you to think about this for yourself as well, too, right? What is it and how to set and achieve your goals for the new year? Specifically, your career and your professional goals, because I personally think that they need to be a combination of both. Many of us right now are going through performance reviews. I have a team right now, and of course, we have to give performance reviews before the end of our fiscal year or end of our year, right? And around, it happens typically for most companies around December to January timeframe, and it prompts individuals to set their new goals. What is that going to be? But that's just your career goals. What about your professional goals? Well, that's just your main job goals. What about your personal goals as well too? I think when you set goals, you should be setting your professional goals as well as your personal goals as well. That's important. That is definitely important. But in order for you to set these goals and to achieve these goals into 2023, one of the first things that I think you need to do is to take stock of where you are at that point in time. I had a coaching call with somebody yesterday, a great individual of a Black Heights community. And one of the things I loved about the conversation was that he knew a lot about himself. He knew a lot about himself. What do I mean by that? Oh, well, we're having a conversation. This is our first introduction call and so forth. And he's talking about the different things that he's actually doing to get into the cybersecurity space. And he talked about sales, he talked about cloud, he talked about cybersecurity and so forth. And I'm taking assessment and so forth. And I'm, giving him some advice because it's a mentorship session. And one of the things that he says was, Antoine, I know that I'm not a number one guy. I'm like, I love that. He's like, I know that I'm not a number one. I'm a number two, right? And that made me realize that he knew himself. He's done some personal thought. He's taken stock of who he is as a person, where he wants to go, and what roles that he should be in based on who he is as a person. Because many of us say we want to be in sales, we want to make the big dollars. But are you a number one? Or do you need to be a sales engineer because you're a number two? Those are the questions that I want you to think about as you're thinking about setting goals for yourself, especially for your career and your personal goals. Who are you as a person? But also to take stock of where you are at that moment, right? How is your career supporting your ideal life? What is your career doing to support the lifestyle that you want, right? What do you want your life to look like? Do you want to have that big house? Do you want to have that boat? Do you want to have that nice car, right? Do you want to not have any of that stuff and just have a whole bunch of money in the bank? What do you want it to be? And then you have to reverse engineer your career to meet that lifestyle, right? You have to reverse engineer your career goals from that point on. So if you want that big house, you want that, that nice GTR or that E63, or you want, a Tesla, well, you got to have the career to be able to support such a thing. So if you want all of these things, these are your goals and your vision, your ideal life, nice wife, kids, and all this other stuff. All that stuff comes at a figure. Then you have to reverse engineer how you're going to get there. And a lot of that has to do with money that you're going to be making as well too, right? So take stock of where you currently are, right? If you're here and you need to get all the way up here in order for you to have these things, take the inventory where you are right now. And what does that look like? What does that look like? Does that mean going back to school, get an MBA or a Master of Science? Does that mean taking course careers? Does that mean taking level careers? Does that mean taking some sort of cybersecurity boot camp? Take stock of where you are at that point in time. That's the most important thing to do. But I would say this before that, just know who you are as a person, right? There's plenty of ways that you can figure out how what roles are best for you, doing these personality tests that exist out there, from the Myers-Briggs, which is pretty old at this point in time, the IPIT Neo, but they all pretty much fundamentally give you a good understanding of who you are as a person, what tasks you like to do, in some aspects, what roles will you be good at? Okay. So, number one, take stock of where you are at that point in time. Number two, zero in. Zero in is very, very important. Okay. When you think about the goals that you're going to be defining for yourself, you need to make sure that you have a roadmap for yourself. Okay. You need to make sure you have a roadmap. But think about how these goals and the steps that you're going to be taking are going to impact your life. And think about what intention that they're going to have, or what the intention of it is. So if you're thinking about, okay, well, you know what? I want to sign up for course careers because I want to make a whole bunch of money and I want to live a great lifestyle. Well, zero in on taking course careers, zero in on when you're going to get completed, zero in on when do you think that you're going to be applying for these roles, zero in when you're going to be booking your coaching session with Black Heights, zero in on all of this stuff and write it down. Write it down from a time perspective, when you're going to get it done, when you're going to spend the money, and so forth. You have to make sure that you actually zero in on this stuff. And one of the biggest things that I'm going to tell you this as a career coach that I often see, and even I have faced this in my life as well too, is comparing yourself to others. A lot of times I'm speaking to my mentees and they're like, Antoine, I'm not where I want to be at. I'm 29 and I see all these other people and they're already married and they're already making $100,000. So now I want to, go out of the country and live in this other space so I can save my $100,000 that I'm making and I can have the lifestyle that I have here and all this other stuff, right? Stop comparing yourself to others. That's the most important thing, right? Don't compare yourself to anybody else. I know it's hard. I know it's very, very hard to do. But instead of comparing yourself to others, think about the steps that you're taking, the goals that you have written down, because by this time you have written down your goals, right? Thinking about the intention behind these goals. If you're going to sign up for Course Careers, the intention should be, I want to become better at sales. I want to understand sales at a fundamental standpoint, right? If you want to sign up for Level Careers, the intention should be, I want to make as much money when I'm in sales as possible. So you have to make sure that you're zeroing in on your goals and the steps that you need to take in order for you to achieve those goals, and write it down. Write it down. Most importantly, guys, that's going to be the most important thing is as well is write it down. The third thing I would say, guys, is to be realistic about it. You have to be realistic about it, and don't think you're going to, start off and because I come on this channel often and you hear other people on this channel talking as well too, that you're going to transition into a career like sales or any other tech field out there, project management, cybersecurity, data analytics, and they're going to go from 0 to 100. It ain't going to happen. I'm going to tell you like this, it's not going to happen. So you have to be realistic about how long it's going to take. And a lot of times, all that is you having to talk to somebody. Because if you go and talk to somebody like myself, and you say, Antoine, you know what? This is where I am, right? This is where I am right now. I don't have any sales experience, but I'm a data analyst, okay? And I'm making about $60,000 a year. And you say, Antoine, I want to get into sales, but I kind of want to make about $60,000 a year so I can replace the salary that I have right now, and so I don't have to, struggle and anything like that. And I'll say, okay, well, good. If you want to get into sales and you want to start from the entry level role, which I recommend you do, sign up for Course Careers. Sign up for Course Careers. Take their SDR course, right? Apply after you're done with that. Get a role as a sales development rep. You're going to be making about $55,000, $60,000 a year then. So that's replacing your data analytics salary. But I would also tell you this is plan to be on that SDR role for at least a year or 2 years, right? Because here's the thing about being an SDR and then making the transition to an AE. Yes, they're in the same career field, sales. Yes, it is. But they're like playing two different instruments, right? One is a flute and another one is a trombone. And yes, just because you know how to play the instrument and read music, but it doesn't necessarily mean you know how to play, transition from playing a flute into, playing a trombone or a trumpet or something along those lines. So when you think about your transition, I want for you guys to be realistic and don't just think that, hey, you know what, I'm going to jump into sales and I see, a Damien who's making $150,000 a year, but I'm only at 80. I'm going to be making $150,000 a year next year. No, be realistic. Yes, you can get to $80,000 next year. The cool thing about sales is that if you're making 150 and you do decide to take a step back, right, and you're making 80, in 2 years, you can be making 200. So you can far pass what you were making at 150. Okay. That's the cool thing about sales in general. But I just want for you all to be realistic into your goal setting so that you can achieve those goals going into 2023. That's how I do it. I say to myself, hey, you know what? I'm going to be launching this venture. Yes, I'm expecting to make $1 million, right? Right. That's the opportunity. But realistically, I say, if we get to, 10,000 our first month, that's good. Am I expected to get to a million our first month? Hell no. I know that's not realistic, especially for a new business, right? So being realistic about your goals and how you're going to achieve them is important as well too. And the last thing, but not least, is monitoring your progress, right? Whether you monitor your progress by, writing it down, coming back to it every month, looking at your brag book, whatever it is, monitor your progress because that is important in order for you to determine if you have achieved your goals or not. It's kind of like the same thing as if you want to lose weight. What do? You monitor your progress by jumping on the damn scale. You may not do it every single day, but a lot of strength and conditioning coaches recommend you do it every day. Or if they don't recommend you do it every day, they recommend you do it every other day. If they don't recommend you do it every other day, they recommend you doing it every goddamn week. Right. So you have to monitor your progress. And a lot of times, I would say this: if you're talking about career growth, from getting promoted to making more money to shifting into a different industry, something like that, you probably want to do it on a quarterly basis, right? Set some time, at the end of March next year. Make sure you look and monitor your progress. At the end of April, May, June, at the end of June, right? Do it again. End of September, do it again. And then that'll take you into the fourth quarter of next year. And if you monitor your progress, you will see that you've actually achieved a lot. You've achieved a lot. A lot of times, I can probably bring some people onto this conversation right now and say, hey, what have you achieved in 2022? A lot of people be like, I don't know. Right. And it's because you probably didn't track your progress and you didn't monitor your progress as well. If you monitor your progress, you will understand that you're making a lot more progress than what you give yourself credit for. And I think about that as myself in 2022, made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of progress to my overall career goals from starting off November 2021 with, I believe, less than 10,000 subscribers. And we've doubled that. And I give you guys all the credit for coming here on every Saturday morning to watch me talk and to give back, right? And I wanted to be at 20,000 subscribers by the new year. That was my goal. We got there before then, which is great. Slow growth, but you see it ramping up. It doesn't need to be 50,000 and so forth. We will eventually get there. Maybe that takes us 2 years. Maybe that's next year with a different content strategy. But ultimately, that progress is there, and I've been measuring that. And I think about the other ventures that I'm actually working on, or either my corporate role, to where I got promoted twice this year. My goal was coming into 2022 was to have a new position. I got that in March. My goal after that was to make as much money as possible in that position and got promoted again. Right. So I have all of these measurables and all of these achievements that I can look back at and say, hey, you know what? Um, I had a pretty damn good year. Now, not to say that 2022 was an easy year at all. It was a tough year because in personal lives and stuff like that, we've had to deal with death. We've had to deal with the death of my wife's father, death of my father. We've had to deal with surgeries. We've had to deal with all sorts of stuff that not going the right way. We had to deal with the move. We've had to deal with all sorts of stuff, right? And when I look back at it, I say it was a great year overall, but it was one of those years that had a lot of ups and downs. But overall, you still need to monitor your progress in your personal and your professional life. So that's number one, guys. That's what I want to talk about today is how to set and achieve your personal goals going into 2023, right? If I go back to what I said, one, take stock of where you are at this point in time. So take inventory. Where you all are today. Where you are today. Zero in on what is it that you want to achieve. Why do you want to achieve it? What is it that you need to achieve? When are you going to achieve it? Dial it in. Be realistic about it. Know that you aren't going to get to making $60,000 a year to making 500 in 1 year. That's going to take you some time. That may take you 10 years to get to 500, but you can definitely get there. You can definitely get there, or that may take you 2 years. If you are dedicated to your craft, you're reading books, you are listening to podcasts, you're becoming an industry expert in the field that you're in, it may take you 2 years to get there. Ultimately, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And last thing I would say, guys, is to monitor your progress. That's going to be very important for you to keep track of what you're going to be doing, but also it just feel good about the goals that you set, because a lot of times people set these goals going into the new year, and next, they don't monitor them, man. They don't monitor them at all. And monitoring your progress is going to allow for you to understand what is it that you're achieving and when, so that you can set new goals. That's important, is to set new goals as you continue to make progress. Okay. Let's switch topics now. Let's switch topics. Um, Many of you guys know that I'm a corporate employee. Yes, I am. Have a side hustle. Yes, I do. What is my side hustle? Well, I own 11 properties, right? Real estate. I don't deal with that on a daily basis because I have property managers that manages this for me. But I also am the founder and CEO of Black Heights, what you're watching today, and a coaching business, right? So we've grown in 2022, and it started off as a hobby of me giving back, and then it turned into a full-fledged business. And for you, whatever your side hustle may be, or whatever you want it to be, when it starts to grow, you have to make the ultimate decision to inform your boss, inform the company that you work for, especially if you're going to be stay a W-2 employee, because I'm of the thought process of you work, you work in your career to gain necessary skills that you need in order for you to invest into what your ultimate passion is, what you have a calling for, what you ultimately want to do. But you need to have a good foundation. So I'm of the school in the mindset of you have a career first, you launch that career, make it the money that you need to make, and then you use that money to fund your side hustle, your passion, and so forth. And many of you guys, this is going to be something that you're going to be doing in 2023 if you haven't done it already. And the question is when do you want to tell your boss? Because ultimately they're going to find out. And I would say this, guys, you want to tell them when your business starts to grow. You don't want to tell them when it's just the idea, right? Because if it's just an idea, it's just an idea. You don't want to inform them of anything like that when it's just an idea. So don't go about opening your mouth and saying, hey, you know what? I do this on the side when I go home. Or, um, yeah, a lot of people like to share information and say, to their employees, hey, what do you do when you go home? And if it's just a hobby at this point in time, you're not making any money from it. You don't want to tell them that, because the last thing that you want them to do is start to look into what is it that you do and start to think that, you're not the right person for the next job, because you're kind of balancing two things, right? But when it does become a business, right? When it does become a business, you want to have the conversations with your leaders. And one of the things that you want to share with them is how much of it is contributing to your success in your real world. I think about it for me, right? When I have coaching calls, it helps me in my full-time job. And you probably say, how does that help you, Antoine? Well, it helps me because I get the gratitude, the benefit of getting instant giving instant feedback and seeing people's progression in their careers and ultimately reaching their goals, to where it rejuvenates me. Having conversations about things that are outside of work, and me seeing that um, people are responding to it and absolutely loving it, and taking that advice and using it and leveraging it to achieve their career goals. That's something that I get energy from. And I wake up the next morning to do a really good job for my corporate job, because I'm energized and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I'm getting. And I'm grateful that this allowed for me to even get to this point, because it helped to fund it. Right. So you have to think about what it is, where you are in your journey and your side hustle, before you start communicating that to your boss. Right. And when you do communicate it, you want to make sure you communicate the right things. Right. Why does this help you? What is this helping you today? But also, you have to make it very clear that this isn't impeding on the work that you do on a daily basis as well, too. Right. One of the things that I had to say to my job is that, hey, you know what? Like, I do this after work, and I do it after work. I do it on weekends. You don't see me going live often during the week. Why? Because now that I've taken on more responsibility, I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I've even had to limit my coaching sessions to 3 days of the week because of such a thing. right? And they know that. They know that. So you communicate about your side hustle when it is a full-fledged business, and you communicate how it's helping you to grow in your professional career at that company. You don't communicate it when it's not a full-fledged business. You don't communicate it when it's just a goal and you haven't started anything. And then you think about it, it's kind of like the real world. You think about, okay, well, you know what, like you're going into 2023, you start to tell people like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna start this side business. I don't mind you guys sharing that with your friends because hopefully they're going to keep you accountable. And, if you don't do it, you're going to feel bad, right? That you said something that came out of your mouth and you didn't ultimately achieve it. But um, ultimately, if you're going to say something, the goal should be for you to do it, for you to execute on it. That's important. You need to be able to execute on it. Okay. And when you are in a working environment and you have a side hustle, it is probably good to tell them when it is a full-fledged business, but make sure that you keep it very, very clear on what is it that you're doing, when you're doing it, and so forth, and that it doesn't even come close to the same sort of work that you're doing today, right? So I think about the coaching business. It doesn't have anything to do with my full-time job. Matter of fact, my coaching business helps me to become a better manager because I'm able to coach my employees better, right? That's sort of the kind of conversations that I'm having. Coaching, my mentorship business is great because of I'm able to mentor more people inside the company and take on a leadership role and leverage my leadership skills to get things done within inside the business, right? So those are the things that you should be communicating when you do have those conversations. But I'll tell you this, you need to tell them. You definitely need to tell them because um, they're going to find out. And I can tell you this, I told some people, I told my boss at the time when he was my boss, but my boss, he went to another company and I didn't share it with, any of my other bosses, anything like that. But word got around fast. And I can tell you this, it constantly comes up. They love what I do, but also you have to understand where the company is as well, too, because if you're in higher positions of power, um, some things can't be said. Some things can't be said at all. You can't communicate about certain things. They don't want you to be visible and certain aspects of it because, investors and all that other stuff come into play. And if you don't tell them and you have all this stuff going on, it could be hindering you from getting to that next level. Okay. So that's what I wanted to talk about today as well, too, is guys, is when you have a side hustle, when is it that you want to tell your boss? You want to tell them when when it's fully a business and a fully vetted business. You starting to make money. That's when you want to tell them. Otherwise, stay in a hush hush. No reason to tell them at all. Okay. Last thing I wanted to hit on today, guys, and I'm running through these topics fast because I have a busy day and it's Christmas Eve. First of all, Christmas Eve. I'm wishing all of you guys a Merry Christmas on tomorrow. It's Sunday. I'm going to be spending some good time with the family. I'm going to have Monday off as well too, but I'm back at it on Tuesday. And I'm hoping that you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Many of you guys have had an early Christmas because some of you guys have got promoted and all this other stuff, right? So you probably were wondering or wanting a Christmas gift. Your Christmas gift to yourself was you getting promoted and making more money. But I wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas as well in this conversation today. Now I want to touch on the last subject, tech salaries, guys. There are companies that are laying off. We have heard it. We constantly see it. It's in the newspaper just about every single day. Companies are laying off people. Yes, they still continue to do so. But also companies are hiring like crazy. They're hiring like crazy. And just because a tech company like HP or a tech company like Google or Meta or Facebook, whatever it is, right? Just because they land off hundreds of thousands of people doesn't mean you can't get tech roles tech roles in any other industry. The healthcare industry in tech is booming, right? The manufacturing industry in tech is booming, right? Cybersecurity is absolutely booming. Just because the Air Force, sorry about that, just because the tech, high tech companies and cryptocurrencies and all this other stuff are laying off people because they're going through a difficult time right now and they overhired, doesn't mean that other industries are not hiring, and they are. I think about companies like Warner Bros, who owns Discovery and HBO and all these companies, media companies and advertising companies, right? They're still hiring. And I'm going to talk about the salaries that these guys offer today. And I'm going to share it with you guys in this article that I have up here from um, from Business Insider. Let's jump over here real quick. Warner Bros is paying a whole bunch of money for individuals in the tech space. And recent salaries range from $55 an hour to $300 a year for jobs at HBO and other units, such as Discovery and so forth. Let's jump down to what are some of these roles at Discovery. The pay data included 156 salaries at Discovery Communications. The base salaries range from $52,000 a year to $300,000 a year, with a median of $143,000 to $160,000 per year. When you're in tech, for new people getting into tech, they're seeing these salaries today and they're like, oh shit, man, this is life changing money. But for people who have been in tech for quite some time, this doesn't surprise them. This doesn't surprise them. That's why I want for you, many of you, to get into tech, because I don't want for you to be surprised by this. I want for you to make the money that you want to make so that you can do the things that you ultimately want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying money is everything, because it's not. But when you have a career and you're making a good amount of money, you can, leverage that. It's a resource. It's a accelerator for a lot of things. It's an accelerator for you to retire early. It's an accelerator for you to, start that side business. And it's an accelerator for a lot of things, for you to put your kids in the best education or give them the best education as possible. So what I would say is this, guys, is make the money. Make the money. And if you're not in the tech and you see these salaries and it's surprising, don't be surprised, because this is normal. Average salary is $143,000 a year. Ad sales account manager. Check this out. If you wanted to do ad sales as an account manager for Discovery, you can get paid $131,000 to $149,000. These are base salaries, guys. Ads manager, machine learning, 118 to 285. Analytics platform developer, you're in a super tech role, 124 to 127. Applications developer 3, 128 to 132. Applied data scientist, guys, 133 to 195. And that's a applied data scientist 1. Applied data scientist 2, 170 to 205. Applied data scientist 3, 164 to 250. If I had that goddamn button right now, I'd be like, God damn, right? It's a lot of money. $250,000 right now. That's a lot of money to be making. That's $250,000 a year. $250,000 a year. That's $250,000 a year, guys. Let's jump on to data engineer, business analyst, 77 to 85. Data engineer, 121 to 134. Data engineer 2, 162 to 178. Data operations, data science, director of technical program management, 222 to $300,000 a year. Over $250,000, guys. Being a leader in a program management, which is project management, running and leading multiple project managers and so forth, can make you $300,000 a year. This isn't even sales. This isn't even sales, guys. These salaries right here, you should be like, wow. Right? For some of us, it's kind of like, yeah, I know. When I first got into the tech space and my measly $48,000 a year, as a graduate of college, I'm like, man, I'm doing pretty well at $48,000 a year. And then you start to, talk to your managers and you start to talk about, oh man, like what is our CEO makes, our COO makes, and you're like, damn, millions. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. That is a lot of money. Millions you can make when you get to certain levels. I speak to these guys every single day. They're making millions, GMs, SVPs, corporate executives. They're making millions. They're making more than your famous ball player. They're making more than your rapper. You don't know who these guys are. You could be sitting next to them on an airplane. You have no idea. But this could be you. I encourage this to be you. I encourage this to be you. And many of these guys, when they've gotten there, they had some of these roles that you're looking at right now. Some started off as an engineer, some started off as a data science, some started off in sales, and then they worked their way up. Okay. Lead ETL, big data developer, 119, 140. Right? Machine learning engineer, 162 to 220. Manager, media supply chain technology. I love supply chain technology, 90 to 94. MicroStrategy developer, 120 to 135. Principal software engineer, 223 to 255. Look at that, guys. A principal software engineer can make $223 to $255,000 a year. That's good money. That is very, very good money. And you don't have to go into sales. But if you go into sales, you want to make more than that, you can get up to $1 million. Especially as a senior enterprise account executive, you can make millions. Senior data analyst, 92 to 105. Senior director, senior product manager. All of these salaries, guys. SAP, 126 to 144. These are a lot of high earning salaries. Let's talk about HBO. HBO is another one. Business intelligence developer, 109 to 155. Data scientist, 90. Data scientist 2, 119. Data engineer lead, 167 to 207. Machine learning engineer, 155. Senior quality assurance engineer, 143. Senior technical manager, 186 to 226. Man, I'll be having all kinds of buttons and sound effects at this point in time if I was back in my home studio. HBO Service Corporation, manager, software engineering, 245 to 285. Look at that, guys. 245 to 285. Big money. Big money. Finance, senior financial analyst, 93 to 117. The money is out here. The money is out here, guys. The money is out here. You can make a whole bunch of money in tech. That's why I'm encouraging you to get into the tech field. It's very, very important. It's very it's a place where we need more people into this field. A lot of retirees. You know, the job market out here is still hot. Although there's been tons of layoffs, it's still hot. You just got to find an industry that you can find a role in. But every industry is going to have technical roles, and these are some of those technical roles. Doesn't matter if it's healthcare, shipping, logistics, media. They're going to have tech inside it because tech is in everything, and every company right now is making that transition to become a tech company. So if you get into tech, you're going to be employed. If you get laid off, you should book a coaching session on how to bounce back as fast as possible. Okay. I will tell you this. There's been a lot of people who have been impacted by the layoff situation. Some have bounced back within a matter of a month, less than that. Some are still on their journey. But ultimately, we give you the steps to take so that you can transition into a different career. Book a session, www.blkheights, www.blkheights.com. Guys, before we leave here, if you have an interest into tech sales, we've partnered with another company here at Black Heights. We partnered with another company here at Black Heights. Partnered with another company called Leveled Careers. I'm part of this company, and this company has really helped people advance their career. That was a mission that I have. That's a mission of this channel, is advancing your career. So I'm working with Level Careers to make sure that we help individuals advance their career. And one of the first things that we're actually doing is to help all of you who are sales development reps. Let me just get this and stop sharing right now. And one of the things that we're doing is to help individuals who are sales development reps to level up to become account executives. We know sales development reps can make anywhere from $50,000, $55,000 a year to $80,000 a year base salary. OTs, you can make anywhere from, I don't know, 80 to 90, right? So let's just say sales development reps can make anywhere from $50,000 to $90,000 a year. We also know that account executives average salary is about $84,000 a year plus. Okay. So the goal here is to help people advance their career. That's what Leveled is. Leveled is a company that was founded to help individuals to advance their career from entry level roles to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Right. So the first course that's going to be launched on Leveled is our account executive masterclass. Our account executive masterclass. What I want for you to do is, if you are interested into tech sales, maybe you've already done tech sales already. Maybe you've done sales, but you never did tech sales, and you want to gain the skills that you need in order for you to become the best closer to make the money that you ultimately want to make, then you need to sign up for Level Careers. We just dropped our free introductory course. Guys, sign up, take the free introductory course. If you think it's for a good fit for you, go ahead and buy the course, because right now we are discounting it by 50%. We are discounting it by 50%. So the course is going to cost $997 in February when it's fully launched. Right now, it is on sale for $497 or $499, so that you can buy it now and pre-order the course. This is going to be the best AE masterclass that you're going to find in the market right now. How do I know? Because I hired the best instructor. I went and sought him out. And who does he look like? He looks like us. Okay. And he's been doing this for 20 years, helping individuals and helping companies to scale their sales process. And he's giving us the best course at a fair price that's going to transform your career of making $50,000, whatever money that you're making as an SDR, or whatever money that you've made as a sales rep, to making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. That's the goal. That is the goal, is to help to level you up. That's the business behind Level. I want you guys to go and sign up. I'm going to drop the link here into the chat so that you guys can go and check it out, give it a view, sign up for the free introductory course. Because you know what? I'm always working. I'm always looking out for you guys. I'm always working. I'm always looking out for you guys. As a matter of fact, I will share the screen right now so that you guys can take a look at what it looks like at this point in time. And our next course that we're going to drop is going to be that of cybersecurity, right? I'm always working. That's why I look tired all the time, guys. I was up early this morning. I look tired as all hell. But I'm always working, getting stuff done. And I do it for you all. So go to www.leveled, and forget the E next to the D. It's LEVELD careers.com, and sign up for the free introductory course. Sign up for the free introductory course and take it. And I'm going to tell you like this is going to, if you are interested in the sales and you're looking to make that big money, I mean, looking to transition very fast out of a sales development rep role, this is going to be the course for you. This is going to be the course for you. Or if you are pivoting out of some other technical role, maybe you want to become, or maybe you are a sales engineer at this point in time, and you want to be the man. You want to be a number one because you feel like you can be a number one. Take this course. Sign up right now. Sign up for the free introductory course, and I can guarantee you this. In the free introductory course, you're going to learn more than you did about tech sales and why it's important. And you're going to learn more so that you can actually take it and start using it on Monday. Just in the free introductory course. Okay? Just in the free introductory course. And when the real course, the full course, is dropped in February, it's going to be the best course on the market. I can guarantee you that it's going to be the best course on the market. So guys, check out www.levelcareers.com, a new partner of ours. I'm invested into this. I'm investing into this because I know is what we need. right? We always talk about making, $300,000 a year and $500,000 a year. Well, I want more people to do that. In order for me to make more people and help people do that, I have to educate them. I have to give you the skills. I have to find the best people who are doing this and be able to provide that back to individuals at a fair price. And that's what we're doing at Level. So first course we're going to be dropping is the transition from SDR to account executive. Free introductory course is already live. Sign up for it. Jump on it right now. Right after you're done watching the free introductory course, you should be ready to buy the course before it's launched because it's at a discounted price at this point in time. It's a Christmas gift to yourself. Okay. After we're done launching this course in February, the full course, we're going to turn around and launch the cybersecurity course. And it's going to be a cybersecurity course that's going to give guaranteed internships. Guaranteed internships. How do I know it's going to be guaranteed internships? Well, because I'm working with somebody who you guys seen on this channel, Mr. Ray Sylvan, who owns a SOC in Poland. And when you are in cybersecurity, you need to have hands-on experience. And he's able to give us hands-on experience after we're done with the course and a free internship or internship that's part of the program of the course when we launch it and drop it. And it's going to be 132 hours of tier 1 support and 132 hours of tier 2 support. So that when you're done with it, there's not a company that's going to say, oh, well, he doesn't have the experience, because that's the challenge today with cybersecurity. The challenge today with cybersecurity, guys, is, hey, you have all these boot camps, $10,000, $14,000. You go and get all this stuff. You full-time, you part-time, you spend 6 months on it. And then you leave this place and it's all theory-based, or they may have taught you a little bit of stuff that you can do from a virtual machine, but you don't have any real-world experience. We're going to give you real-world experience working into a SOC remotely. So you can be in the comforts of your home like I am right now. Well, I'm in my mom's basement right now, guys. But I don't live here full time. Many of you guys know that. But some of you guys live in your mom's basement full time. We want to get you out of your mom's basement full time. Right? We want to get you into your own house. Right? Making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Right? That's what we want to do. That's the whole point of Level, is to level up. Level up in your career, to advance your career. Right? So in this cybersecurity course that we're going to drop, I'm giving you guys a good preview into it. It's going to be self-paced. You're going to learn everything that you need to learn. And then once you've learned it and you graduated from the course, we're going to turn around and give you a internship. And this is going to be a guaranteed internship where you're able to dial in from any place in the world through a VPN and so forth and learn what it's like to work in a SOC, because you're going to be working in a SOC. And you're going to be able to put this on your resume that you were a tier 1, a tier 2 SOC analyst. And the companies are going to be like, holy crap, he got this certification. He got this certification. Oh, we have this many hours working in a SOC that signed off on using Microsoft tools. It's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer. So these are some of the goals that I have for 2023. I'm giving you guys open exposure to it right now. And we're making it happen. That's why your boy's always tired. That's why your boy's always on calls and so forth. So, guys, I wanted to share that with you. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for rocking with me in 2021, or damn, I said 2021, 2022. Oh shit. Your boy needs some rest, man. Your boy needs some rest. But anyway, in 2022, let's get to the 2 super chats real quick, and I'll answer some questions before I jet out. Number Ashton, I appreciate the $20 super chat, my man. Merry Christmas to you and yours, B8. Thanks for all that you do. I appreciate you, Ashton. And thank you so much for all the support, man. Thank you so much for all the support, showing up every Saturday, supporting me, supporting the community, and just being a community member that gives back. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to our brother Damien. Damien with a $10 super chat, a big brother. I talk to Damien often. See Damien very often as well, too. That's my brother. So you're 42, more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. Absolutely. You're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. Absolutely, Damien. Absolutely. I appreciate you too, Damien, for the $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much for your commitment to this community and for helping individuals as well, too, my man. I appreciate you. Our brother Kev T, IT support, man. I appreciate you, brother, for the $5 super chat. If you commit to something and don't give up, anything is possible. Absolutely, my man. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And congratulations, my man. Congratulations on getting into the cybersecurity space. And I just know that you're going to pay it forward because you always do. You're always paying it forward. You got to think about this, guys. CapT IT support gets what he gets. He levels up because he gives so much. He gives so much. That's the reason why he levels up. That's why he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? And that's why he's going to continue to do so. And Kev Texas IT support is going to be making more than that once we get our stuff going on as well, too. Okay. So, guys, when you give, you're going to get a lot in return. And ultimately, it comes in the forms of monetization a lot of the times. But I appreciate you, brother Kev T, IT support. Our brother Jabron is in the house. Our brother Jabron is in the house. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, a $99.99 super chat, a 100 ball. My brother came through with that big money today, man. He came through with that big money today. I appreciate you, brother. I always appreciate you. And I'm gonna tell you like this, man. This is our brother right here. Okay, this is somebody who served us, or served our country, continues to serve us in the community here, continues to level up by being a spokesperson for Penn State and individuals going and getting their education and becoming a data analyst and so forth. This is an individual who owns his own company, multiple companies. And I'm gonna tell you like this: he's a father, he's a husband. I appreciate you, man, so much. He says, so thankful for this community. I can't wait to see what we as individuals and as a community do next. Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you for the $99.99 super chat, my man. I appreciate you. Brother Rashad is in the house. Says, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, my man. Merry Christmas. While knowing if you're a number one or number two or possibly support on a team is huge. That honesty can save you a lot of time chasing the wrong roles. Abso-freaking-lutely, Rashard. Abso-freaking-lutely. You're absolutely right. That's why it's important to just know thyself, man. And as much as we think that we're a number one, and I even said it myself at one point in time, I'm like, I'll never be CEO. I've learned that I can play multiple roles, right? I can play multiple roles. Where am I comfortable with? Well, I'm comfortable with being in a number two role, right? But if I need to be that number one role, that's where I can do my thing as well too. But just knowing yourself, right? Knowing yourself is very important. Knowing yourself is very important. That's the biggest thing that I want for you guys to take away from Brother Rashard's messages now and what I said earlier is knowing yourself. Because if you know yourself, you're going to know what roles you're going to be better at than others. And don't just find yourself going down and say, hey, you know what? Like, man, I want to be the top dog in sales, but you don't like to be the guy who has all the light shine on you. You don't like to be the guy that leads, right? Maybe you're a support person. Maybe you're a sales engineer. Think about that from that aspect, guys. I appreciate the $9.99 super chat, my man. Thank you so much, brother Rashard. Brother School Hits, Solo Hit says, I'm locking in, man. Absolutely. Let's get it done, brother Solo Hits. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing this morning with us. And I wish you and your family, brother Solo Hits, a Merry Christmas, my man. IT Wizard, Merry Christmas, bro. I appreciate you, IT Wizard, man. Thank you so much for coming through for the $49.99 super chat, man. You're generous. You guys are generous. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for the super chat. But this was important for me to get this message out. And IT Wizard, I appreciate the $49.99 super chat, my man. Thank you so much. Guys, I say this, right? You know, at the end of the day, 2023 is around the corner, right? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? You should be thinking about that. V. Scott, I appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Support and love. It's great to see Black men in the IT space leveling up. That's the goal. That's what our community is about. That's the goal. That's what our community is about, my man. A lot of stuff is going on in the chat right now. We have community members from Tech, Jabron, to Kev Tech IT Support, to brother PBO, to brother Christian. All these guys are in the community right now that can give you insights if you're new to tech on what they're experiencing, what they've done, the rights and the wrongs, right? The time wasters, all this stuff. That's part of the Black Heights community when you become a Patreon member and you become part of the community, right? I don't have to do a lot of this stuff because the game is already there, right? I can give you the game, you book a coaching session, but I'm gonna tell you like this: Brother Damien can give you the game, Brother Jabron can give you the game, Brother Christian can give you the game, Brother PBO, Brother Engineering Cannabis, AIME, they all are experts in their fields. And they're going to give you the game. They're going to tell you the truth so that you can get to ultimately where you ultimately want to be to. Okay. And accomplish those goals that you ultimately want to get to. But guys, that's all I have for today. I wanted to keep this at an hour. We have some driving to do. We're going to be leaving Madison today to head to my mother-in-law's place in Milwaukee. We're going to jump on the road in about an hour, hour and a half to head there. It's only a 40-minute drive, so it's not far. And spend some time with the other side of the family, guys. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a Merry Christmas from the Black Heights community. Thank you so much for all your support. And until next time, guys, peace out.